You're listening to The Manning Report with your host, James David Manning. The news behind the headlines.
The right wingers over at Fox News see that potentially they're going to knock down Biden and Kamala Harris will be the nominee and her vice president will be Pete Buttigieg. They are now attacking Tucker Carlson, and Laura Ingraham are now attacking Kamala Harris and calling the Democratic Party a religious cult. I forgot to get the definition of a cult. But if there's a cult anyway, it's the religious cult called Southern Baptists and White Evangelicals. We'll come back to that. Mr. Engineer, do you have clip number 2? Tucker Carlson now realizing he needs to attack because he believed that Buttigieg and Kamala Harris is going to be what they're going to have. So they're already sparring up. Run that clip number. Leave my mic open, Mr. Engineer, when you do that.
First tonight, after almost 200 years, the Democrats were a political party with conventional political goals. That's no longer true. The Democratic Party is now a religious...
You know, you can say that to Tucker. You know, you can say the same thing about the Republican Party. They used to be a political party with political goals, but that is no longer true with this degenerate tribulation Trump. Watch this. Everything this guy says, it's like he's looking in the mirror. He should be saying it about Republicans. Go ahead, Mr. Engineer.
Cult, with all that implies. Dissent has been banned. Anyone who questions the party's leftward fringe is denounced as a racist heretic. The party has descended into a
But the same thing as you denounce Trump, you get kicked out like Congressman Amash or anybody that comes against Trump or John McCain. You can't dissent against tribulation Trump. I'm amazed at the ignorance of this boy. That boy is crazy. Go ahead, Mr. Engineer.
Nobody is safe, not even the party's own leaders. Nancy Pelosi, for example. She's the most left-wing Speaker of the House in the history of the United States. She's been a fire-breathing liberal for longer than, I don't know, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has been alive. But none of that has been enough to save her. Ocasio-Cortez and a tiny group of House freshmen demand explicit socialism in this country right now. They want to open the borders, empty the prisons, and take over the entire U.S. economy.
No. Come on, man. Come on. Nobody want to empty out the prisons. But there are a lot of people in prison who've been put there in an unjust way. There are a lot of the prison system has not worked for poor people, and you know that. Tucker used to be poor yourself. Your family is still poor out there in Mississippi and West Virginia. You know that. They don't want to open up the prison. Stop that. I mean, he's just fueling that Trump base. He's just fueling them barefoot people with lies. Ain't nobody want to open up all the prisons. Nobody want to do that. And if they do, they let people like Jeffrey Epstein out. That's who gets out of the prison. Not people like me that was put in prison for something I didn't do. And what I did do, I did it because somebody stole money from me. And I couldn't go tell the police, so I had to go back and get it myself. Go ahead, Mr. Engineer. I've never seen anything like this.
In the name of fighting climate change. Now, Pelosi may agree with these goals, but she has contempt for their total ignorance of how laws are made, their ignorance of the democratic system itself. And Pelosi has expressed that contempt repeatedly in public, including here.
She likes to minimize the conflicts within her caucus between the moderates and the progressives.
You have these wings, AOC and her group on one side.
That's like 5 people.
So for saying things like that, Pelosi tonight is facing a revolt from within the Democratic Party. She's being denounced. Guess what they're calling her? You know, a racist. Here's Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib explaining that Pelosi is oppressing people of color.
More people like us, people of color, have been missing in the chamber because most of us, and Ayanna Pressley says it more beautifully, people that are closest to the pain need to be at the table making these decisions. Guess what? We know what it feels like to be dehumanized. We know what it feels like to be brown and black in this country.
What would you say to Nancy Pelosi? What would you say directly to Nancy Pelosi?
Uplift the women, especially the women of color within your caucus that are out there, because I'll tell you, more people like us, more people like me that come out to vote, we win. All of us win.
Now, let me just say a word about this, because Tucker's trying to brand this. Go ahead, no, he's going to brand this as a racist thing. You got to be black to be right. Go ahead, let it roll for, then I want to say something.
power because of our skin color. That's the argument Tlaib is making. Many make that argument. Ocasio-Cortez made the very same case during her Democratic primary campaign last year. By definition, it is a racist pitch. It's every bit as repugnant as a white candidate making the same appeal. And many Democrats did make that appeal, that racial appeal, under Jim Crow. Vote for me because of my race. It's disgusting. But it's everywhere now, and Democrats applaud it. Yesterday, for example, former Obama spokesman Brian Fallon.
Okay, Mr. Engineer. Here. You talk about Jim Crow, they talked about slavery and that kind of a thing, and racism, vote for me because of my skin color. I don't have the graph and the foundation that put together this graph, this federal study, but Tucker, the average mean income of the average white family, Japheth people, right? The average mean income, and I could get higher and lower, is $67,000 a year. The average Japheth family household is $67,000 a year. That's the average. And you talk about economic equality, right? And you may not think that there should be, but the average white children growing up, Japheth children, can expect their parents to earn close to $70,000 a year. The average Hispanic household income, Tucker, is $20,000, a little bit over $20,000, $20,800, something like that, for the average Hispanic household income. So if you're growing up in a Hispanic household, your family's only earning about $20,000 a year. That's the average, or the mean, or the median. And guess what, Tucker? The average or the median income for Hamites or black or African American household, you know what it is, Tucker? Take a guess. $17,000 a year. The average, now that's spread out across all so-called black people, including Tyler Perry, and people living in shelters. When you mesh it all down, you get $17,000 a year is the average income. Now that's $40,000. I'm sorry, that's $50,000 less than the average white household. So, I have a plan. I'm not Elizabeth Warren, but God has sent a plan to rescue Hamite, black, African-American people they don't want it, from that plight, from that low income. The average home ownership among black or African-American people is about 30%, while the average home ownership among whites is in the 90s. God has sent a plan, and God will hear it. People will hear it, rather. I'm a faithful messenger. But this income inequality, this income disparity, this home ownership, this business ownership is what these Democrats are talking about. Talita Rashid, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren. They are addressing the income inequality and disparity, and that's what they're talking about, and it's a real fact. And it does play into the dynamics of the social makeup of people, if they have money or they don't have money. Now, the plan that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has, or Kamala Harris, or Talita Rashid, or Nancy Pelosi, or Elizabeth Warren, none of those plans will work. They've been tried for years, and the income levels are getting lower. The home ownership is lower now than it was 50 years ago. The business ownership, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, so-called black, which were Hamite businesses, were flourishing. Everything from Johnson Publishing to Madam, hair products. It was black people owned businesses. They owned businesses all up and down Harlem, Chicago, even down in Memphis, Tennessee, and Black Wall Street. We are worse now since Dr. King, and I don't mean to impugn him. We are worse now since Barack Obama than we were since Dr. King. It's getting worse, and where Talita Rashid and where Kamala Harris want to take it, it's going to take it even far worse. God has set the plan. It's called ATLAH, but people don't want to listen to that. It is absolutely incredible that they're so addicted to civil rights legislation to be a lift when you need God You need the power of God. They don't want to hear me. But the same thing is true for my friends. I was going back and forth yesterday on my Facebook page with a woman named Hilda Paris. And by the way, Hilda, I didn't call you white trash. I just said that Trump has pimped poor white people. I didn't mean, it was not my intent to say white trash. And these white people whose income now, because of the income disparity of the super rich, they're finding themselves rubbing shoulders with poor black people. And that's why they're going for Trump. Trump promised them jobs. The Carrier air conditioner left Ohio like a vapor in the wind. The Chevrolet Cruze manufacturing, 15,000 jobs left Lordstown, Ohio before you could blink your eye. They have been closing down plants in Indiana and Chicago, Indiana and Ohio, and the so-called 150,000 jobs that were supposed to be of this mega Chinese company building up in Wisconsin never came to fruition. It's all gone. Trump has not lifted any of the white people's boats. Nobody that thought he was going to make life better for them. And what they're doing is that they're doing the same thing that black folk are now doing, hoping that somehow that's going to come through politics. Listen, the rich, the wealthy, Wall Street, the Bilderbergs, the Illuminatis, they've got this thing sold up. They've got it sold up. And they're not going to, the only way you can break loose is you got to go to God. We got to go to God. The only thing that's going to break loose, and I was about to tell people earlier today that the tribulation is a great place for the ATLAH Church to be. It's a great place we're in a great position now. But anyway, Mr. Engineer, let's listen to a little bit more Tucker Carlson, who I consider a very, very sick man. By the way, have y'all seen that movie on Roger Ailes, how he started Fox News, and the vulgarity, their attempt, what Fox News was set out to do? They didn't want to get mainstream America. They just wanted to get a base, get them hooked, and keep feeding them the lies that they. If you got to watch it, you got to see it if you haven't seen the Roger Ailes event, because that's exactly what Trump is doing. Trump don't care nothing about trying to raise his poll numbers from 39 to 50. He don't care nothing about that. He knows as long as he keeps that base, keep them lying, keep them barefoot, keep them jumping up and down, and keep them wearing them red hats, he can win again. He don't care nothing about trying to win over black folks. He don't care nothing about that. Anyway, you check it out if you haven't seen it. Roger Ailes and the start of Fox News. But go back to Tucker Carlson, this bamboozling idiot again.
That Ocasio-Cortez and her faction provides, quote, the vision and moral center of today's Democratic Party. That's a view that is widely shared, and it's bad news for people like Joe Biden. Like Pelosi, Biden has dedicated his entire life to the Democratic Party. As Pelosi has, Biden has dutifully moved left with the party over the years and hasn't complained about it. He's currently running, for example, on free health care for illegal aliens. But none of it has been enough. People like Joe Biden are the past in the Democratic Party, and like so many others, he's being denounced, wait for it, as a racist. It's over for Joe Biden, a bitter end to what might have been a decent political career. Only he seems to be unaware of that. On Saturday, Biden groveled one last time in a doomed effort to save himself. Watch.
Was I wrong a few weeks ago? Somehow give the impression to people that I was praising those men who I successfully opposed time and again? Yes, I was. I regret it. And I'm sorry for any of the pain or misconception.
That's why I chose here in South Carolina and chose an audience that in fact would be the most likely to have been offended by anything that was said.
But it's pointless. It's spitting in the wind. In the Democratic Party, remorse is a sign of weakness, and the weak are eaten. Shortly after Biden spoke those words, Michelle Obama was asked her view of Joe Biden. Now, a decent person might have said a kind word about her old friend Joe. He was the man, after all, who helped make her husband president and served under him for 8 years. That's not what Michelle Obama did. Watch.
What, if anything, would you like to say about the Kamala Biden dust-up? He apologized today. You've been following that. Do you have any thoughts about that?
I do not.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Moving on.
I've been doing this.
That was wrong for Michelle to just, flippantly dismiss Joe Biden that way. And I'm not for Joe Biden. Now, y'all understand. Everybody understands. I'm just telling you what is. But for her to just flippantly dismiss him like that, it means she wants Kamala Harris. The fist bumper wants to see Kamala Harris in the White House. And most of these young black folk want to see Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg in the White House.